Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji, for allowing me to do Kirtan this morning.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So grateful to you and Purbi for doing this wonderful Kirtan. We all know this is the month of Kartik, Damodar going on, where Lord Damodar, day before was Deepavali, where Lord Damodar or Lord Krishna was bound by the ropes of love of his mother. And then yesterday was Giriraj Govardhan Puja. This month is all full of festivals, and it is especially recommended that we read Srimad Bhagavad Gita, hear the name, form, qualities of the Supreme Lord, and purify ourselves. This is the whole goal of life. This is what will give us what we are looking for, and that is the topmost happiness. So we'll start with that note. Guruve Gaur Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalai Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namaste Girirajaya Govardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine Namami Damodar Pada Pankajam Karomi Damodar Pujanam Sada Vadami Damodar Nama Nirmalam Smarami Damodar Lila Sundaram Akama Sarva Kamo Va Moksha Kama Udaradi Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajate Purusham Param Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaham Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare. My humble obeisance at the lotus feet of all the assembled devotees. Thank you so much for taking out your valuable time in this holy, auspicious month of Kartik. And that too on a Saturday morning. That's really I'll give a thumbs up to all of you for all your brave act for challenging Maya on a Saturday morning. That certainly needs guts and bravery to challenge Maya when everyone is lying on their beds, trying to have a so called happy time by in the mode of ignorance and passion. But all of you are the brave soldiers of Kali Yuga, the brave soldiers of Krishna, who really want to tie Krishna in their hearts. Because if we have to tie Krishna in our hearts, and that's the whole purpose of Damodar Leela or Lord Ram coming back on the day of Deepavali, is basically showing our enthusiasm, our eagerness, our spiritual hankering. Tatra lolyam iti mulyam ekalam. Srila Rupa Goswami says, if bhakti can be purchased at any marketplace, then one should buy without any delay. But sorry, it's not available anywhere. But it is available. One who pays the price of lolyam, greed, hankering, running after Krishna. जो जागत है सो पावत है, जो सोवत है सो खोवत है. So if we are hankering for Krishna, if we are doing all our best endeavors, then certainly Krishna will see that. Because in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that any act of bhakti will not go unnoticed. Even minute act as little as offering a small lamp in the month of Kartik. It is said that one who offers a lamp in the month of Kartik, millions of janmas, sins, the sinful activities of millions of lifetimes are completely vanquished in the blink of an eye. How much time it takes it to blink an eye? 1/10 of a second, probably, right? So again, all glories to you for joining in this Bhagavad Gita reading, hearing, study group. And anyone remembers what we discussed last time? We are at chapter 7. We have discussed till text 23. We discussed a particular theme. Anyone wants to share 1 or 2 points?
Sure, Prabhuji. Jai Shri Krishna. The first thing we talked about last session was those that are drawn to Krishna, those that the classes of people that accept Krishna, and those are the distressed souls, those that are looking for money, and those that are inquisitive or eagerness, and those that, the fourth one, are those that are in search of the absolute truth. And I think we also discussed that all four of them have a possibility to become a pure devotee in their hearts if they choose to be. So they are on the right path for whatever reason, but eventually they could become a pure devotee.
Excellent, thank you. That's called Sakam Bhakta, bhakti with some motives, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine to worship Krishna with motive in the beginning, and then as we go steady and mature in our bhakti, Krishna will give us unalloyed bhakti also, if we are hankering for it, and if we are doing it. Purba, Purbi, your parents also want to join us today. I know they joined last time. You want to check with them? I'll be happy to see them as well. So, anyone else remembers? Yes, we discussed the 4 kinds of people, 7.16. Those who approach God. Yes, very nice. And we discussed the examples also. I won't go in detail this time, but then we discussed about the differences between the demigod worship and the worshipping the Supreme Lord. And I think I spent quite some time to clarify, because it's an often misunderstood topic. And often people put some allegations also on devotees. Hey, how come you're saying this? How come you're saying that? Our intent is to just repeat the words of the scriptures without hurting anyone's sentiments, feelings, their objects of worship. We do respect. And of course, a devotee should respect even an ant, what to speak of demigods. Talking about demigods, we all know one point we discussed that Indra is the god of rain, and we know this famous story of Govardhan Leela, that how he also forgot that his master is Krishna, right? And then he was trying to hurt the Vrajavasis by showering torrential rains upon the the residents of Vrindavan, and he forgot his master. So Krishna time and again does multiple leelas, for example, the Govardhan Leela, to teach his devotees a lesson. एक बार मान इंद्र को मारियो नख ऊपर गोवर्धन धारियो नाम पड़ेयो गिरिधारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम. Nakh ke upar Govardhan, the little pinky of his left hand and the tip of his nail, he lifted Govardhan for 7 days, 7 nights. And we see here Indra was puffed up with pride, thinking, I'm the controller, I'm the doer, I'm the master, I'm the proprietor. So the demigods, we discussed that demigods themselves are not free from all the vices. How can the worshipper of demigods be free? Demigod worship is considered material, it's not spiritual. We also discussed that the results derived from demigod worship is, we will complete the sentence. Yes, Vedi.
You said the results, right? Prabhuji?
Results, yeah.
Yeah, it's often like fruitive.
Fruitive and temporary.
Yes.
Temporary, whether it's a big home, big car, big job, big, good health, good wealth, it's temporary. But the results derived from Krishna consciousness are? Yes, Sampada. Did you say? Or no? Oh, eternal. Eternal. Right? Because bhakti will give us result. Even little act of worship can save one from the greatest dangers. We discuss example of Gajendra. We discuss example of the rat who, his tail was burnt in the month of Kartik and he got a spiritual destination. So with that, we'll move on to the next verse, which is text number 24.
May I ask a question, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
When I was reading the purport, it was for text 21. Prabhupada discusses that Lord has given us independence. However, to me, there was a statement in there. It felt like Krishna was entrapping us, lack of a better word. He's saying, okay, I've given you independence, but I want you to come to me. That it sounds contradictory in my opinion. It's like he's telling us, okay, I'm going to give you all this freedom, but let's see what you do with it. I want to see if you come back to me. It just seems so contradictory. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you first of all, for so nicely and scrutinizingly reading Prabhupada's purport. That's very, very important. And then asking such a beautiful question. That at one point Krishna is saying, Man manabhav man bhakto patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya. So many you become my devotee. And then you're saying, okay, I'll give the freedom. So yes, it's Krishna gives us guidance, right? For example, the manual, you buy a washing machine, comes a manual. They give us some do's and don'ts, but can they force you to operate the gadget a certain way? No. But he'll say, hey, my machine got damaged. Well, did you follow the do's or did you follow the don'ts? Right? Now the choice is there. So therefore, in the entire Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, it says, Yatha ichasi tatha kuru. I have given you what will lead to the ultimate benefit, what will lead to degradation, what will lead to bondage in this material world. How can we improve ourselves? How can we perfect our lives? And how can we go to Tamodwari Yoshita Sangi Sangam? Lust, anger, greed, Trividham Narakasedam Dwaram Nashnam Atmana. So Krishna is basically, Bhagavad Gita is a manual of life, like a washing machine comes with a manual, do's and don'ts, how to operate it properly, how to not operate it. But the manufacturer is not going to force and say, if you don't operate it, then I will take my machine back, right? Or I will lock your machine or seal your machine, something like that. No, the choice, we have paid the price of human life by doing some past karma. We have achieved this life. So we have paid the price for getting the washing machine, whatever, $1,000, let's say. You got the machine, you paid the price, you get. But now you can make the best use of it and run it for with the right intentions, with the right thing, and we can damage it in like 2 months also. Does that help? Yes, Avani?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you so much. Nice question. Anyone else? Avani, you have a question or you want to read?
Read, Prabhuji.
Okay, let's go ahead with the text 24. Please.
Avyaktam vyaktim apanam manyante mam abhuddhaya param bhavam ajananto mamavyayam anuttamam. Translation: unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme.
Thank you so much. We'll read the next verse as well together, and then we'll discuss these two. Text 25. Yes, Sampada.
Text 25. Naham prakasta sarvasya yogamaya samavrittaha mudho yam nabhijanati lokamam ajam avyayam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I cannot see a translation. Okay, I think I can. Okay. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. Hare Krishna, Babaji, back to you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Avani and Sampada, for reading these two verses. So first of all, there are two kinds of Maya Shakti. One is the illusory potency, right? And anyone remembers where we read that? 7.14. Devi Esha Godamai Mam Maya Duratyaya. It's very, very difficult to overcome this illusion. So this illusion is what makes us think, oh, I am man, I am doctor, I am engineer, I am rich, I am poor, I'm the proprietor of this home, I'm the owner of this car, right? It's all because of false identity, because of this illusion. But in the spiritual world also, or in the Dham, Mother Yashoda does not think Krishna as God. The gopis, the friends of Krishna, does not think Krishna as God. Are they also covered with illusion? What do you all say? Yes or no? No? Yes? Maybe? They're covered with internal or spiritual energy of the Lord. So the Lord's internal energy or spiritual energy, as we just read in this purport, if you recall, I am covered by my internal potency. Maya, in the Kunti Maharani prayers also, Maya Javanika Channam Agya Dhokshajam Avyayam Na Lakshase Mura Drisha Nato Natya Dharo Yathaha Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. Quite similar words. That I do not. People say, show me God. People say, bring God in front of me. Right? The question we should ask, am I qualified to see God? If someone says, now, if president exists or prime minister of this country exists, come in front of me, then only I will believe that there is a president or a prime minister. Then will you call me very intelligent person? And call a fool number one. My calling, who am I? Have I obtained the qualifications to meet the president of the country? No. So me saying if the president doesn't come in front of me, then there is no president, is a very foolish proposition. You all agree with that? But if the president of, let's say, India wants to meet the president of Canada, and he makes him a call, will they happen to meet, right, to discuss some international affairs? Because they have the qualification to see each other, and vice versa. So even in this world, what the president is just an important position in the very tiny sphere of material world, very, very tiny sphere. We are talking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, Satchidananda Vigraha. To meet him, don't we think that there should be a qualification? Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. And what is that qualification? Bhaktya mama vijananti. With the eyes of devotion, premanja churita bhakti vilochanena, santay sadev hridayeshu vilokayanti, yamashama sundara guna achintya swarupam govindamadi purusham stamaham bhajami. So those whose eyes are anointed with love of God, they see God everywhere. I'll tell you a story. One time, the king was trying to, he got a disease, very peculiar disease. And the doctor told him that you should see everything green. If you see anything which is not green, your health will worsen. So he started to put green walls, green table, green car, green this, green keys, green sabji, green everything, green utensils. And he started to paint everything green. But how is it possible? I mean, if someone comes in the kingdom, they'll put green paint on him and then he'll go. So it's quite like challenging. If you were his minister, would you have a better solution for him? Anyone? Where they has a solution?
Wear glasses with green lens.
Yes, you're so intelligent. You're fit to become his minister. So rather than trying to change the whole world, which many people want to, right? Change the whole world. Dunya badal dein. First, we have to change our perspective, the lens with which we see the world. If we have the right lens, that means the right consciousness to see the world, we will see everything in that connection. If we have the Krishna conscious lens, then we will see God everywhere. That's what we read in chapter 7, the energies of the Lord. In the water, we can see God. In the mountain, we can see God. That doesn't mean we start worshipping mountain as God. Of course, if it's Giri Govardhan, yes. But that does not mean we go to any mountain, any water body and start offering obeisance. Right? The point is we see the hand of God, that Yad Yad Vibhuti Mat Sattvam. It's energy of God. Without the Supreme Lord, this cannot manifest. So how I reached that point that rather than claiming, bring God in front of me, we should raise our standard. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to mention this point. Don't try to see Krishna. Try to serve Krishna so Krishna wants to see you. Try to serve him so the Lord wants to see you. When we serve, when we call out for the Lord, then the Lord is bound to come to that place, because it is his words that wherever yatra gayanti mad bhakta tatra tisthami narada, I am always present. So we should not, our movement is not to see God, our movement is primarily to serve God, and then the God will be bound. That's basically Damodar Leela, how Mata Yashoda was serving the Lord. So many people say, well, God is an imperson, or is not a person. He's some unimaginable, inconceivable, some light, some shadow, some energy, something, I don't know. They put more faith in something rather than having the faith in the words of the scriptures, where it is clearly said about his two-handed Dvibhuja form, Tribhanga Swarupa, that the threefold bended form, how he holds Venu, how he has peacock feather on his head, how he wears the yellow pitambara clothes, how he is walking, how he dances, how his friends name, everything is there in our scriptures. So we have to hear God, or we have to see God through our ears, not through our eyes. When we have sincere faith and we are doing sincere shravan, therefore chapter 7 begins with the topic that Tat Shrinu. We discuss the importance of hearing in the chapter 7 text 3. When we hear properly from the right sources, from the right bona fide parampara, then only the message will be revealed to us. Otherwise, we can just keep wandering or concocting our own ideas about God. Many people think God is an ordinary person. Many people think, oh, he also did something bad, like telling lies, stealing butter, right? Now he must be suffering in the hell. So their own idea. Due to their small knowledge. Manyate mam abuddhaya. Abuddhaya means less intelligent. Param bhavam ajananto. They do not know my supreme nature. So this bhakti is not the process of ascending knowledge. It's the process of descending knowledge. To know, we have discussed this many times. To know about the Father, we have to approach the Mother. To know about Krishna, the Supreme Lord, we have to approach the scriptures. Without approaching the Mother or approaching the scriptures, we cannot understand God. We will just have wrong conclusions or partial understanding of the absolute truth. And therefore, avajananti mam muda manushim tanum ashritam. The fools regard, the 9.11 Bhagavad Gita. So same verse, Kunti Maharani prayer also, we discuss the same. But an intelligent person, let's say your friend, your close friend dresses as an actor on the stage, is doing Ram Leela. And let's say they have dressed up as Sita or Shurpanakha, whatever character. But you knowing that, oh, he's my close friend, so you'll be able to recognize. Yes? You agree with that? Sometimes even a close person may not be able to recognize. Like Brahmaji forgot, oh, he's my Lord. Doesn't seem to be. Indra forgot, is he the ordinary boy playing? Why are these Brajavasis worshipping Govardhan on the call of an ordinary boy? So sometimes even a close person is a devotee. So they are close, not as close as Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, etc., but they're also relatively closer. What to speak of the foolish people? So now, let's say Vaidehi is dressed as Sita in a Ramayana drama, but Avani, being her close friend and sister, will be able to recognize, oh, it's my sister who has dressed as Sita in a drama. But let's say a stranger or a person who has no knowledge about Vaidehi, and then that person will not be able to understand, or an acquaintance. Right? Is this point clear? They will not be able to recognize. So similarly, those who don't have the eyes to see God, they won't be able to recognize God. Even he comes in human-like forms. Any form he comes, whether Narsinghadev, half man, half lion, Varahadev, Ram Avatar, Krishna, or the cause of all causes, tortoise, Kachap Avatar, Vatsya, so many innumerable incarnations. They all are transcendental. So devotees are able to realize. Satyavrat Muni, the Satyavrat king, was able to realize that you're not an ordinary fish. Oh my God, oh my master, please reveal your identity. Right? So the Lord takes unlimited form, but his devotees are able to. Prahlad was able to recognize his master Narsingha Devi is everywhere. Yato yato yami tato Narsingha. Why? Because their eyes were covered with the Krishna conscious lens. Some of us have lenses or glasses. We can always remind ourselves to put our Krishna conscious lens. That means to always see with the eyes of devotion, right? And for that, and even in the world, right? Oh, I'm a devotee of Lord. I have to always be cognizant, to not see faults in others, to put my faulty glasses out. They are bad glasses. They will not help us to see clearly. The eyes of goodness, pure goodness, will be able to see the world in the right perspective. So this verse was primarily about the impersonalist and how only devotees can understand. The impersonalists cannot understand. They are unintelligent. And Krishna reserves the right of not revealing himself. As I gave the example, hey, come before me, and otherwise you're not there, God. Will God come? No. But if Prabhupada invites, then Krishna comes. Right? If pure devotees invite, then Krishna comes. Gopis used to make Krishna dance on his tunes because Krishna is Bhakta Vashya. We discuss these. Bhakta Vashyata means he is bound by the love of his devotee. I live in the heart of my devotee, devotees live in my heart. I don't think of anything but my devotees don't think of anything but me. That's a reciprocal relationship. Someone sent a picture today. The devotee lifted mountain for the Lord lifted mountain for his devotees. Hanumanji lifted mountain for the Lord, right? To get the Sanjeevani booty and to build the bridge, right? To help the Lord. And the Lord lifted Govardhan Hill to help his devotees to protect from this. Is so sweet. I like that thing. Any comments before we move to the next part of the... Okay, so let's move on to the next part of this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yes, anyone wants to read text 26? Yes, Vedi, please.
Hare Krishna. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu veda na kaschana. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So, how many of us, raise your hand if you answer this question. How many of you remember what you ate on October 7th in lunchtime? October 7th, it was about a month back. How many of you remember what you ate on October 28th? This is 1 week back. It's hard, right? It's hard. What to speak of asking October 28th in 2020? What about 2005? Right? We don't remember. Don't worry, don't feel bad. I'm in the same pool. We're all in the same pool, so don't feel bad about it. So, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna. So, Vartaman, these are three tenses: Vartaman, Bhavishya, and Bhuta. Sorry, Atita. Atita means past. So, what has happened in the past, what is happening in the present, and will happen in the future. We all don't know what has happened to us in the past. Just 1 week back, we don't remember. Anyone can tell about the future, right? The scriptures tell. We were recently reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Shukadeva Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj how his future generations will be and what will be their names. Can you imagine that? The exact names are mentioned as it is for not just one generation, like tens of generations, and their exact names are mentioned. So Krishna knows past, present, and future. And same as pure devotees also know, like Narad Muni, etc. They are Trikal Gya. Trikal Gya. Kala means time. Three times are past, present, and future. So they are the knower of past, present, and future. Narad Muni, so many exchanges he had with devotees, his disciples who could tell that Narad Muni could tell what their future would be. So the point is that Krishna is not an ordinary personality, which many people think. He is the all-knower. One of the appearances of the Supreme Lord is all-knowing, infinite knowledge. He is the source of all knowledge. Ordinary living beings, they don't even know the past. Their knowledge keeps changing. It's full with flaws, full with cheating propensities, full with mistakes. With no offense to anyone, but this is the reality. So we should understand that Krishna is free of delusion. Delusion of by Maya to devotion of Krishna. So Krishna is free from all these vices because the Supreme Lord is the Supreme Master. He cannot, if one is perfected by realization of impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma, he cannot understand the Supreme Lord or Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, again, the point is that those who are trying to worship the Lord in the impersonal way, they won't be able to understand. So let's read the next verse. Who wants to read text 27? Anyone? Yes, Anita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Ichha dvesha samuthena dandava mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. O scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Some people think that Krishna is covered with the Maya energy, but if you remember this picture, it's not the Krishna is covered with the Maya energy, but the jivas are covered with three modes of material nature. Krishna is the master of all. Krishna is the controller of all. In 7.12, we learned that. He is the all-knower, all-controller, all infinite in every dimension which we can possibly think of. And we are infinitesimal in our intelligence, in our memory, in everything. So we have to become free of that delusion, that illusion, that dualities, dvanda, ichha and dvesha, desire and hate, dvanda mohina. We are caught up in these dvanda. Anyone? In this dvanda topic, Krishna explains in practically every chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Nirdvanda bhava Arjuna. That become free from dualities. O Parantapa, O conqueror of the enemies. Basically, Krishna is addressing here Arjuna as Parantapa. Become free from these enemies. And what are the enemies? The delusion, the dualities. The moment the child is born in the world, so many identity tags are put upon him or her. Father says my child will become doctor. Mother says my child will become a scientist. Uncle says, no, my niece will become, nephew will become a lawyer. Someone says he'll become a great artist. Someone will become a great cricketer. Someone will become a great vocalist. Everyone is putting different tags. And then this gets up. Someone says, oh, he's my son. Someone says, oh, he's my husband. Oh, he's my daughter. Oh, he's my this. He's my that. Oh, this home is mine. This property is mine. Oh, this is mine. Caught up in these dualities, these false identities, heat and cold, loss and gain, wealth and poverty, health and disease, heat and cold, desire and hate, fame, name, fame, respect, or dishonor. All these are different dualities of life. And for a pure devotee, is completely free from these dualities. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na khanchati. Is free from. And there's a nice bhajan. सीताराम 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 कहिए याहे विधि राखे राम ताहे विधि रहिए चाहे महलों में वास दे झोपड़ों में वास दे. If he makes us reside in the palace, that's fine. If he makes us reside in a jhopari, that's fine. If he gives job, that's fine. If he doesn't give job, that's fine. The point is, a pure devotee is free from all these dualities, and that is the secret of happiness in life. The more we are succumbed to dualities, then the more we will be attached to them. Oh, if someone thinks, what is the whole world trying to teach us? The whole world is trying to teach us. You get a lot of good education, so-called good education, by going to a good university and get good education and a good job and you get a good salary, and then you'll be happy. That's the biggest duality. Because are all those people really the happiest ones? The answer is no. Some of them, go through depression, some commit suicide. And even the rich people who have wonderful so-called home, salary, etc., job, business, whatever. So because we are trained in this environment of delusion, where we are not given the proper science and training of Krishna consciousness, where it is told to us that this material world is the place to enjoy life, king size, get this education, then only your life will be happy. Otherwise, your life is a fail, right? So when the person is in young state, then he or she does not know what he or she does not know, right? They don't know what they don't know, right? That's a better state than the adults. Why? Because adults think that they know, but they really don't know. Isn't it? What is a bigger problem to have, right? To know the wrong thing and to think that it is the right thing, and not only to think like that, but to also have the propaganda of it. Is that better? Or is that better when, sorry, I don't know, actually. I don't know what is God. I don't know what is the real goal of life, right? I think that's to be having lack of knowledge and accepting that I don't know what is the goal of life. I don't know why God created life. But what do most people will say? If you ask them what's the goal of life, what do most common reply? I'm not talking about devotees or Prabhupada's books. In general, if you ask people, what's the goal of life? Any responses? Yes, Vedi and then Sampada.
To make a lot of money and be like
Yeah, make a lot of money. And this is hammered in our heads by parents, elders, uncles, aunts, society, teachers, right? So, Sampada, what's your thought? Your microphone is not working. I have to learn the art to understand through the lip movement. Just kidding. Maybe you can. Oh yeah, that's better, right?
Okay, so I think it's to be happy, because like whatever they do, they just want to be happy. Like even if they do something bad, they want to be happy. Even if somebody
true.
murders someone, they want to be happy with that. So things like that.
True. That's true. And often their pursuit to happiness is through, money or home or killing others, or so that's a much worse situation. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was explaining in this point. What's more dangerous, a cobra or a cobra with jewel, money on top of his head? What do you think? Two options only. Second one, cobra with the jewel. Why? Anyone
I
knows?
think because it wants to protect the jewel, and then even if somebody comes near it, I think the cobra is gonna think like he's gonna steal my jewel, so he's gonna bite the person. I'm not sure.
Good try. Good try. See, I mean, cobra is not really so attached to jewel because they're not trading. They're not trading their jewel, but it's a good try. The point is that everyone wants money or jewels, right? So people want to run behind that cobra, right? So when people are running behind that thing which is false, it will only give us poison. And like Ravana running behind illusory Sita. He lost his life, he lost his kingdom, he was very wealthy, very, handsome, very intelligent, lot of good wives, lot of good kingdom, lot of good ministers, everything he had. Much more than any the Bill Gates or the whatever richest people of this world, right? No one can compare to Ravana's wealth, no one can compare to Ravana's intelligence, his entourage, his army, his queens, whatever. But he was running after illusory Sita. He gave up his life, his everything, his kingdom, his children, everything for running after illusion. That's what people are chasing, this cobra of illusion or delusion, which traps us further in this world. And the cobra with the is like someone is drowning, you put a golden crown on his head. That will make him or her drown further and faster and deeper, right? So similarly, this Maharaj was explaining that the cobra with jewel, people are running behind, not knowing that this is poison. So everyone is running behind that thing which does not give us true happiness. Yes, they want happiness, but it does not give true happiness. Rather, it only gives venom or poison. Asatyara satya korimani. Thinking asatya or illusion as satya. Like mirage, we have seen this, dry road, mirage. It appears to be water. It appears it will quench our thirst. It will quench our soul. But it really does not. So what is that real reality or identity, or to get free from illusion? And what is that freedom? To come to the state of knowledge that I am Krishna's child, and my real identity is to serve the Supreme Lord. That will give me real happiness. Unless one comes to this understanding through scriptures, through guru, through proper reading, hearing, one will continue to be unhappy. Whether one gets wealth or does not get wealth, whether one is healthy or unhealthy. These are dualities which will keep changing. Until one comes to the state of knowledge or pure knowledge, these dualities, one will never be happy. That's the verdict of the Shastras. I'm just repeating. Desire, heat and cold. So, intelligent person, I'm the master of this house, Prabhupada is saying. Such deluded people dwell in the dualities of honor, dishonor, misery, happiness, woman, man. So many people are fighting over feminism. Oh, women are better. No, men are better. No, black is better. No, white is better. No, yellow is better. No, this is better. These fights will always keep going until we are in the false designations. These are not true designations. Pleasure, pain, thinking this is my wife, this is my house, I am the master, I am good, he's bad. All these are dualities. A sober person is not bewildered. Tamstatiksho Subharata is tolerant dualities. So, such people cannot understand God. Therefore, we should try to be free from. Yes, Vedi, I want to say something. Sorry.
In the 7.27, in the sloka, it says, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. Where does the hate come from? Like, I
Hate.
understand, yeah, like I understand why it might be like desire, but why is like hate mentioned?
Hate is basically envy, right? The reason we are here is because of the envy of towards the Supreme Lord. Envy towards others. Hate is an active expression of the envy, right? So why we keep taking bodies? Because the reason why we are here, because we want to be the independent enjoyer, developing some sense of envy towards the Lord or hatred towards the Lord. You can't imagine that. But this is the kind of the reason the jiva is in this world, right? And even in this world, pure devotees don't hate anyone. Like Yudhishthira Maharaj, his name is Ajata Shatru. Ajata, one whose Shatru is not born or one who does not consider anyone as a Shatru. So pure devotees, yes. In a pure state, there is no hate. There are no desires or only spiritual desires. But in a conditioned state, right? Can anyone say that I never envy, even in my mind, towards anyone? I'm not envious of even in my mind, what to speak of the active expression. Pure devotees are. We are trying to get there, right? Right now we have these vices: lust, anger, kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, matsarya. Matsarya is envy. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita says, yava, become non-envious. So yes, envy is there. It's one of the 6 vices, which keeps us taking birth, which makes us to take birth again and again in this world. Does that help? Very good question. Okay, we'll quickly do the last 3 verses now, and that will be the end of the chapter. Yes, 28. Yes, Lakshay.
Yes, Guruji. Yesham tva antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam tedvan dva moha nirmukta bhajante mam vritrata. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So quite straightforward. We discussed in 7.16 that the 4 types of devotees who worship Krishna for different reasons. They are called Sukritina or Punyatma. Their papa is ended. Anta gatam papam. They are not miscreants. They are punya karmana. They are in knowledge, and they are free from dvanda. Dva is two. They're caught up in the two, or dualities, dual. Dvanda, moha, illusion of these dualities is illusion. Nirmukta. So these people who worship bhajante mam dridhavrata. So those who can worship Krishna with dridhavrata is like a firm resolution. Dridha means firm or resolute in their purpose with determination. Those who are free from dualities and those who are completely eradicated from the impious activities, those who are free from the sinful actions. So basically those who are taking shelter of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, those who are following the regulative principles, those who are reading the scriptures in the association. This elevation is possible, very important line. In the association of great devotees, pure devotees, one can be delivered. It's not easy. Is it easy to be free from desire and hate? Like heat, okay, it's heat or cold. Whether I get a good job or don't get a good job, I get good income, don't get good income, whether Krishna gives me residence in a palace or in a kutia, I'll be happy. Anyone like that? Very few, maybe some of you, but others, we are trying to get there. The moment we think, I repeat this line, the moment we think that something in this material world will give me happiness, that itself becomes a cause of suffering. When Prahlad Maharaj was teaching his co-students, his co-friends, and not only his friends but his teachers as well, that you are teaching that this person is my friend and this person is my enemy. This is again a cause of misery or duality. So the moment we think that getting a bigger house will give me happiness, the same house will become cause of misery. The moment we think that something of this material world will give us true happiness, it's again a duality. That means we are not happy with something what we currently are, and we are thinking that something else will give me happiness. And then when we get to something else, then we'll think that something else will give us happiness, and then the cycle will never end. So an intelligent person tries to be happy in whatever state, whatever socio-economic, psychological statuses we are in. If Krishna has given less, we'll be happy with less. If Krishna gives more, we'll use it for his seva, not for sense gratification. And everyone is gifted with different abilities and skills to use for the service of the Lords. Someone may have good wealth, someone may have good health, someone may have good other resources, someone may have good contacts to help get permissions from the government, governors, and whatnot. Someone may be good in cooking, someone may be good in dancing, someone may be good in classes, someone may be good in musical instruments. So many different ways we can all engage our propensities, and that will give us true happiness. Not envying, hey, Sampada has this, hey, Vedi has this, hey, Purvi has this. That person will never be happy. Rather than thinking we should be happy in others' happiness. This is a sign of great souls. Para dukkha dukhi, para sukha sukhi. If someone gets something better, we can see how much we are in these dualities. If someone gets something better, let's say a new car, a new home, a new job, a new promotion, do we really from our heart tell them congratulations? Or is the heart full of envy and saying, hey, why did I get that? All these sound familiar or just these are for some of the kids, it's maybe like too much to comprehend, but are you getting? I just see there. So that's a test. Yes, someone was speaking. Sorry, I missed that.
No, Prabhuji, I was trying to relate it for the kids. When the kids are younger, when they go to school. So similarly, it's like a child gets a brand new JanSport backpack. And, they're like, oh, what a beautiful backpack you have. But inside they're feeling like, I wish I had that backpack. I have this cheap one from Walmart that my mom bought me, So similarly, it just gets bigger and bigger as you grow older, just bigger items, different items, but for the kids so that they can understand, this duality that you are talking about. So very similar.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I'll keep it in my list of examples. So, okay, the last two verses of the chapter chapter 7. Yes, anyone wants to read? I haven't got a chance yet. Oh, Shital Mataji is there. Please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Jara Marena Mokshaya Mama Shritya Yatanti Ye Te Brahma Tad Viduha Krishnam Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam. Translation: intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna. This is like the fifth category of people who are aspiring for, who are aspiring for Jara Marana Moksham, who are aspiring for liberation. And we know there are different categories of liberation, primarily 5 categories of liberation. Ma Ashritya Yatantiye, they take shelter of me. What are the other 4 categories? Those who are distressed, those who are searching for money, those who are inquisitive, and those who are in knowledge. But there's another category. Those who are also intelligent, because they certainly have knowledge about transcendental activities, because they have come to this understanding that real happiness is not in asking for the things of this world, right? Even in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is actually, quite ultimately Krishna is the source of all knowledge. So all these theories, what it says that the first are the basic needs, which everyone is looking for, like food, shelter, clothes, water, etc. But will one be just happy with food, water, clothing, shelter? What do you answer? Then the answer is no. Once those needs are achieved, then one is aspiring for bigger or for higher. And then comes the needs of first is the physiological, then the safety needs, then the belonging, then the self-esteem, sense of achievement, accomplishment, etc. And then finally the topmost is self-actualization, or quite similar to self-realization. So the needs of self-realization is what those are aspiring for this, because even if I get the best of the wealth, the best of the home in this world, then again I have to take birth again. Then I could be an ant in the next life. They are in knowledge. They know all this science. That yes, I am not an eternal being. Sorry, I'm an eternal being, but with a temporary body. So the body is going to die. The home, everything comes with an expiration date, right? Today, someone may say, it's their home, but it was built at some time. Maybe 5 years back, maybe 50 years back, right? So what was there 50 years back? Something else, some other home. What will be 5 years from now? Maybe you sell the home and someone else will build a home. Or maybe the government will change some rules and 50 years from now, they will build a shopping complex or some condo association, right? So everything can be changed, right? We are like travelers in this world. So the fifth, or mokshakami bhakta, they are aspiring for freedom from the cycle of birth and death. And who can give the freedom from the cycle of birth and death? Because this is very painful. Why do we want birth, old age, disease, and death? No one wants diseases. No one wants old age. No one wants death. But it still comes. No one can avoid it. No one can escape it. It's same for all, Indian or American, white or blue, black or yellow. So that one comes to this understanding that Aham Brahmasmi, I am the spirit soul. And the real goal of life is to serve Krishna. So they take shelter of the Supreme Lord. And then finally, we come to the last verse of this chapter. Anyone wants to read? Radha Mataji, you want to read this?
Of course, Prabhuji, thank you. Jai Shri Krishna. Sadhi Bhutadihi Devam Ma Sadhya Jnanam Chaya Vidu Prayana Kale Vikamam Deviduryukta Sheksha. Sorry, my Sanskrit is not very good. But those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be governing principles of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. Thank you, Prabhuji. Jai Shri Krishna. Back to you.
Thank you. So here in the last verse of chapter 7, Krishna is introducing some terms. Here, Adi Bhuta. Adi Bhuta, the governing principle of all the material manifestation. This world is called Bhuloka or Bhavasagar. Who is the Adi? Adi means the original cause. Adi Govindam Adi Purusham. He is the primeval cause, the original. Adi Daivam. Deva is the Devatas. He is the governing principle, the Lord, the Master. Deva Deva Jagannatha. He is the master of all the demigods. Adi Yagyam. Sorry. Adi Yagyam. Yagya is the sacrifice. He is the source or the governing principle of all the sacrifices, or the Lord of all the sacrifices. And the other term used is Prayana Kali. Prayana Kali means at the time of death. So, one who remembers, who understands these principles and remembers the Supreme Lord, right? Who is the master of the demigods, who is the master of all the material manifestation, who is the master of all the sacrifices, can understand him, know him, and even in the time of death, and in fully absorbed, so in full consciousness of me. It's also very, very important. Yukta Chetasaha or Nitya Yukta we read earlier. So not just knowledge, but knowledge leading to absorption. That person will certainly come to me, and that Krishna will explain in the next chapter more about death. What is the state of those who go to different destinations based on the state they have at the time of death. So I'll quickly summarize this chapter through the acronym HEAD. H is the hearing, the first 3 verses about the glories of the hearing. E is everywhere. God everywhere. Yato yato yami tato narshinda. We all need that spiritual vision, the lens, to see God, to see the hand of God, to see the energy of God in every direction, in every facet of life, in every animate or inanimate, living or non-living object, or anything for that matter. Then we discuss about the acceptance and rejection. Why some people accept, who are those categories of people, the 4 categories, and why some people reject because of delusion, because of their false prestige, because of the lack of proper knowledge, because of the impious activities they reject. But those who engage in pious activities and then they are in good hands, in good association, reading the good scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, etc., they will accept, and then slowly they'll become pure devotees, even though initially the intention may be motivated by either getting something material or some wealth, some beauty, some freedom from misery, etc. But finally, they come to the state of pure devotion. We also discuss about the impersonalist and the D, H-E-A-D-A, is accept, reject, D is demigod. So we discuss in great detail about the differences in worshipping the Supreme Lord Krishna versus the demigods. Demigod worship is material. They are also not free from lust, anger, greeds. They are Krishna's representatives. They are Krishna's children. They also take the sanction from the Supreme Lord. They are not independent, but they are dependent beings. Yes, they are very powerful beings and we must respect them. But our heart, Nitya Yukta, should be at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord without disrespecting anyone. We're not offending demigods or anyone for that matter. Krishna knows what is really best for us, so he'll really give that. Demigods will give whatever price we pay for. Demigods' worship is more on rituals. Krishna's worship is more on intention. Krishna sees the heart, bhavagrahi janardana. And then finally, the results of demigod worship is also temporary, but the results of Krishna worship, even if partially executed, like Jatayu could not really save Mata Sita. So as per the ritual, he was a failure. But as per the bhava, he was a great success. Lord Ram did his final rites. What could be a better destination for someone? Everyone is trying to remember God in the last time. But here the God, Supreme Lord, came to be with his devotee. The Lord comes to be with his devotee. And finally, the last few verses. The eyes are covered with the illusory energy for the foolish, but for the devotees, they are covered with the internal potency, like Yashoda and the Maharaj. So we have to transition, and the transition is the process of sadhana bhakti. My mother's name is sadhana bhakti. So, and then finally, we also talk about the impersonalist and then the mokshakami bhakta. This is a brief summary of chapter 7. So I will want to pause a little earlier today. So anyone has any quick comments, additions, questions, or clarifications? Thank you for your time and reading Bhagavad Gita. We are steadily moving forward. Haribol, thank you. Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Anyone has any comments and additions? Everyone's still awake? At least I can see for the devotees who have the video on. Others I can't really say.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much to all of you, Manisha Mataji, and everyone.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
then with pranams.
Haribol. So we'll pause here. Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Samaveta Gaur Bhaktarinda ki jai.
Jai.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namaha.
Haribol. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.